Most people think money is simple. You work, you get paid, you spend what you need, and hopefully save whatever is left. But the truth is, your money is moving through a system before you even touch it. It gets sliced by taxes, used by banks, weakened by inflation, judged by credit scores, and either destroyed or multiplied by interest. And the strange part is, almost everyone lives inside this system, but very few people are ever taught how it actually works. The first shock happens on payday. You see the number you earned, then you see the number that actually landed in your account, and suddenly your paycheck looks like it got attacked before it arrived. That missing money usually went to things like federal taxes, state taxes, Social Security, and Medicare. In simple terms, taxes are the price of living in a country with roads, schools, emergency services, public programs, and a government that needs money to function. But that does not make it feel any better when you worked all week and a chunk of your check disappeared before you could even use it. And then comes the weirdest part. The government often has a lot of the information already, but you still have to file your taxes and prove the math. Get it right, and nothing exciting happens. Get it wrong, and suddenly, the system cares a lot more about you. But once your money finally reaches your bank account, that does not mean it is just sitting there untouched. A lot of people imagine banks as giant vaults where everyone's money is locked away safely. In reality, banks are more like financial traffic controllers. When you deposit money, the bank can use a portion of that money to lend to other people. Someone gets a car loan, someone gets a mortgage, someone starts a business, and the bank collects interest from them. Then the bank may pay you a smaller amount of interest for keeping your money there. That gap is one of the ways banks make money. The whole thing runs on trust. As long as most people believe their money is available when they need it, the system keeps moving. But if too many people panic and pull their money out at the same time, things can get ugly fast. And that brings us to one of the most powerful forces in money: interest. Interest can either quietly build your future or slowly drain your life. If you borrow money, interest is the price you pay for using someone else's cash. If you save or invest money, interest can become the reward for letting your money work over time. That sounds simple, but the difference is massive. Credit card debt with high interest can turn a small purchase into a long-term problem. One missed payment turns into fees, then the balance grows, then interest starts stacking on top of interest. But when compound growth is working for you instead of against you, the story flips. Money earns money, then that new money earns even more money. At first it feels slow. Then years later, it can look almost unfair. Same force, totally different outcome. But even if you avoid debt completely, your money still has another enemy: inflation. Inflation is not usually dramatic. It does not kick your door down. It just quietly makes life more expensive. The burger that used to cost a few dollars costs more. Rent climbs. Groceries shrink while the price stays the same or gets worse. Your cash may still have the same number printed on it, but it buys less than it used to. Inflation can happen for many reasons. Sometimes demand is too high. Sometimes supply chains break down. Sometimes businesses face higher costs and pass them on to customers. And sometimes people expect prices to rise, so they spend faster, which can push prices up even more. A little inflation is considered normal, but when it moves too fast, savings lose power and wages often struggle to keep up. When inflation gets too hot, central banks usually reach for one major tool: interest rates. Raising interest rates makes borrowing more expensive. That means fewer people take out loans, fewer businesses expand, and fewer shoppers buy expensive things on credit. The goal is to cool the economy down. But there is a catch. Cool it too much and people start getting nervous. Companies cut spending, hiring slows down, layoffs can begin. Everyone starts holding on to cash instead of spending it. That is how a slowdown can turn into a recession. A recession is basically when the economy shrinks for a period of time, and the mood changes fast. One month people feel confident, and the next month everyone is asking if their job is safe. Recessions usually do not last forever, but they leave marks. Some people recover quickly, others spend years rebuilding. And while the economy has its own warning lights, you have one too: your credit score. This little 3-digit number can decide how expensive your life becomes. It can affect whether you get approved for a car loan, a mortgage, an apartment, or a credit card. It can even decide whether you get a decent interest rate or one that feels like a punishment. The strange thing is, a credit score is not exactly a measure of how rich you are. It is more like a trust score. Lenders want to know if you pay on time, how much of your available credit you use, how long you have had accounts open, and whether you keep applying for new credit. The uncomfortable part is that having no credit history can also hurt you. You might be responsible with money, but if the system has no record of you borrowing and paying back, it may still treat you like a mystery. But all of this only works because people agree that money means something. A dollar bill is just paper. A number in your banking app is just digits on a screen. Even gold, crypto, luxury brands, and collectibles depend heavily on belief. Value comes from trust, scarcity, usefulness, status, or demand. That is why two bags can hold the same items, but one sells for $20 and another sells for thousands. People do not just pay for the material. They pay for the story, the brand, the signal, and the belief that it matters. This is one of the biggest secrets of money. Value is not always about what something is. Sometimes it is about what people think it is. That is also why people who create value can make so much money. A doctor solves a painful problem. A software company saves people time. A creator holds attention. A business makes life easier, faster, safer, or more exciting. The more valuable the solution feels, the more people are willing to pay. But the people who really build wealth usually go one step further. They stop trading every hour directly for money and start using leverage. They build systems, own assets, invest, hire people, create products, or buy pieces of businesses. In other words, they make money work even when they are not actively working. And that is where investing and time come in. Investing is not some magic trick reserved for people in suits. It is simply putting money into something that has the chance to grow. Stocks are pieces of companies. Bonds are loans that pay you back with interest. Funds let you own small pieces of many investments at once. Real estate can produce income and rise in value. Businesses can scale far beyond one person's time. Of course, investing has risk. Markets drop, companies fail, prices swing, but doing nothing has a risk too. If your money sits still while inflation keeps moving, your future quietly gets more expensive. The part most people realize too late is that time is the real multiplier. A small amount invested early can become more powerful than a larger amount invested late. Not because of luck, but because compound growth needs time to breathe. At first, the progress looks boring. Then it starts to bend upward. Then one day, the results look shocking to everyone who ignored the boring years. Money rewards patience in a way that feels invisible until it is obvious. So money is not just cash. It is a system of taxes, banks, interest, inflation, recessions, credit, belief, value, investing, and time. And yes, the system can feel confusing. Sometimes it even feels rigged. But the less you understand it, the more it controls you. The people who learn how money works do not just make better choices. They stop letting invisible forces make every choice for them.